Knockers is spectacular. You know what that means? All this good stuff happening to you, know what that means? That you're favored by God. When you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil. He's coming for you too. You gotta be strong and stay on the right side. Whose side you gonna go on? He's gonna give you power too. He's gonna get in your head too, but whose side you gonna stay with? You stay with who brought you here. You go home with the guy that brought you to the dance. Oh, you're powerful. He wants you. He's coming at you. He's gonna tell you evil. He's gonna tell you how beautiful you are, and he's gonna tell you, I made you beautiful. And you do what I say. Just remember, God loves you, so does he. He's after you too. It's a war. You gotta really believe that. You need faith, because you're not smarter than Satan, brother. I know you may think you ain't smarter than Satan. You need faith. You need faith, brother. He's good. He knows your weakness. He knows you before you were existing. He knew your mother before you knew your father. He knows you before God. He knew your existence. They knew you together. They were there when they made you together. He know you. You can't have no secret from him. You can't talk slick to him. No doubt. Doubt should be eliminated. You should be a doubt annihilator. You should be an annihilator of doubt. You kill people in the ring, you should kill doubt in your mind and in your soul and your heart. Kill it. It's dead. Fight it every day, because it's going to be hard. It's not going anywhere. You'll try to throw as many negative thoughts at you as possible. You got to throw as many and triple the positive thoughts. Whatever throw 3 of them, you throw 16 back at them. How much you love yourself and how great you are. And how you love God for your hands and your feet and your legs and your skin and your movements and everything. Thank you, your gratitude. Life. Yes. You know, the blessings triple when you have gratitude. You can still be arrogant, but as long as you thank God, give him gratitude. Thank my mother for my hands. Thank my mother for caring for me to make me put in that situation. Gratitude. Buy your mother something nice. Thank you, Mom.
Who is
Francis the Predator Ngannou?
I have a very difficult childhood, as I couldn't have pen or book or have a scholar fee taken care by my parent and all those stuff, who was very hard on me and very frustrating, very hard. A credit to my past, to that childhood who was very tough, because he forces me, he taught me in the hard way, you know, to have to deal with myself, to be on my own, to not rely on people just by not having anybody while I need it. Nobody at all to rely on. You know, when even your parent can help you, not because they don't want or just because they can, then as a kid, you kind of like understand that you have to work your ass off, you know, otherwise it won't be easy for you, you know. You don't realize, but it's kind of like education, you know. I think if everything was perfect for me as a kid, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be having this perspective of life, because I would have been maybe rely or expect something from somebody or from life, you know. But I have a tough life who taught me to like not expect anything from anybody. You're on your own, you know. And then when you pick that up and like, okay, this is how it is, guess, believe me, you won't get disappointed at all. First of all, as I say, even about my parents, it's not like they didn't give a fuck. It's just like they couldn't do anything, you know. Even those who care couldn't do anything at all. So the situation there, the life there was so miserable. Anybody couldn't do anything. My mom was always there, but sometimes she was just powerless most of the time, but she was there. But he make it very difficult to come to your point. After my parents get divorced, I was 6 years old. I started to live in a different houses, go to different family, and then trying to have friends, trying to be a part of that family, and then was always like, you know, kind of like rejected or something. At school, at home. At school, because I was always a new kid. I didn't have a friend from home that we go to school together. So I get to school, I don't know any kids. The fact that at school they will point me out amongst other kids to be the one that doesn't have a pen to take note, or a notebook, or the one that hasn't paid a scholar fee, so they're gonna kick me out in front of other kids. So yes, therefore you are not a good profile to be a friend. Nobody is excited to be a friend with that guy, So despite my effort to have friend, he was very hard. And by the time that you're close to like maybe build something else, have some relation with some kids, then you have to move again, go someplace and start over. So I kept trying, and I think at some point I just like unconsciously give up, like, okay, this might just be my life. I just have to wrap this around my mind, and just accepted it. But I remember like being a child, I kind of like have a virtual war in my mind, a war with a perfect family, with my mom and dad at home, that I could have everything, that we could have eat 3 meals a day, easily, go to school, have friend, go back home. Like that was in my mind. And like when it was so hard for me, I could have escaped and go take a time, go in that war who was just in my mind. Strongly believe that the fact that I knew poverty and that situation make me appreciate what I have today, the life that I have today, even better, and have a different perspective of life. When you see somebody who come from a decent family or from a rich family, he has a different perspective, and he might be having a ton of money, but there is something in life that he will never understand. I had the opportunity to learn that, to understand that, even though it was in the hard way, and without that, I wouldn't be what I am today. I love fighting since I was a kid. That was my passion. Everything that I could have done and enjoyed was like watching movie or like playing those game, like go out there in the banana farm and just kick and punch those banana tree until they fell down. And even though I was getting beat up after I would, but I was always do it again and again and again, and not even kids around, they didn't want to play with me. Me with fighting, it was since I was a kid, But growing up, like having my dad, he was so strong, because in my family we have that reputation. My dad was so strong, but was street fighter. Was fighting at the street, at the bar everywhere. So he didn't have a good reputation. So I was kind of like ashamed of my dad, because he had this reputation of being a street fighter, like fighting people, and people were like, oh, that guy, then I'm like, I don't want people to talk about me like this. I had the same thing, but didn't just want to go the same way, and I do believe that because he was there to show me maybe not the way to go, but the way not to go. Because from my dad, I really like seeing my dad or hearing people talking about my dad. I was just 6 years old when they divorced, and then we moved, and people started to talk about my dad, because when I was with my dad, I didn't realize that basically I was at 6 years old. So they started talking about my dad. Then I just feel so ashamed of it. Then I'm like, I don't want to become like that. Decided to like let the village and finally go for what I go to the city and find a gym to practice, to start combat sport. And at the time it wasn't easy. People thought I was losing my mind. I'm like, what the hell is that? You should find yourself a job to, and think about like making your own family. Because in Africa at 22 years old, basically like from poor family, you should be getting married and having kids, And I'm like, no, I'm doing this. It was scary though, like, damn. So this is how I might end up. Then I'm like, at least I do what I like, So it was all about what I love, And everybody was against that. I remember even my mom, she was like, listen, son, I love you and I will always support you, even when you're losing it. Very soon after, just after 1 year, I realized that I kind of knew that I couldn't make it from Cameroon. I knew, but I just wanted to develop my skills, have an idea of what I'm stepping into, and to really know my potential, what I'm able to do, at least before taking any other initiative. So after 1 year, I got sick. It wasn't good. I get a lot of trouble because it was hepatitis B. All my little savings, I spent it in the hospital, and it wasn't enough, So that was the moment that everybody would be like, oh, we told you, kind of look down, because everybody is like, yeah, go take money to boxing to treat yourself. But you can't say anything. You don't have money. Boxing doesn't give you money. You don't have no money from boxing. Even though when I was doing it, at some point I wasn't telling anybody, I was going to fight without telling anybody around me, whether it's friend or family, because I know they don't support that idea. So, but after I got sick, they're kind of trying to remind me that I took a wrong decision. And I think after I recovered from that, that was the moment that I'm like, okay, I need to do this the right way, which is, first of all, leave Cameroon, go to some country that I have the opportunity. Once I left, I make a backpack, put everything, some few stuff in that backpack, a few necessary stuff, and then just left. I kind of over time find an itinerary, okay, I know a geography, I know how to read a map, and now trying to find a way to go through country and country, because I know that in the north is very close from Europe, and people kind of trafficking there to go to Europe. Not west side, Ceuta, and northeast there is Melilla, and those two lands, small lands, they are Spain territory. So when you get in that territory, you are in Spain. But the level of security around that territory is insane. On this side you have a Morocco special court, which is just trained for immigration, because all African, sub-Saharan African who want to go in Europe in an illegal way will take that path. So they have Europe finance a special security system that is in Morocco to prevent people to cross. And in the Spain side, we have the Guardia Civil with high-tech security equipment, infrared, radar, helicopter, everything. That's how it's secure. We have to try to turn that to go to the other side, or to take the ocean. You have to have money to even think about that path, because it's a very good amount of money. They're gonna require, let's say, about $1,000, and from people coming from Africa, which already are poor. It's not easy to have $1,000.
Right.
Maybe you never have it in your life. Many of us never have $1,000 in their whole life, or go at night trying to go through the security, which is very hard, But sometimes we are just expecting that they will miss us on their radar, because they might have a ship in the water and they don't know. There are fishes in the water as well. After like 7 times, yeah, I tried in the ocean like 6 times. I fell 6 times in the ocean. It was the 7th time. I fell multiple times at the gate as well. Get caught by a barbed wire. Couple times living in the forest, and you know, that was tough. But after, I was pretty good in the water, even though I didn't know how to swim. When in Tarifa, I mean, we couldn't land. What we do is like at some point in the ocean, when we feel like we're already deep in the deep ocean, we just call the Red Cross. We have the number of the Red Cross, but the Red Cross base is in Tarifa. So what is good for us? Their job is just to rescue people. So we will call and like call for help, and they will start to ask our position, and it's very hard to describe our position. People get lost many times about that, and sometimes they will find you, and they can find you, and they will even call the Moroccan for rescue, for help. Then the first person who finds you brings you on his territory. So you're hoping for the for the Red Cross to find you first. And the guy on the line, I don't know why he was asking those questions. Like, is it a woman in your boat? I'm like, yes, even the children. Like, what does that even matter? We are in danger.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, we are coming. Then they brought us to the jail. They call this a detention center. But we just make sure that we get there with no ID on us. Anything on you can be like lead to where you come from, give you an idea from where you come from. You don't have it, any paper, because they can deport you from somewhere if they don't have a proof of ID that means you come from there. After they free us, we went to this Puente Enil, which is south of Spain. Some association took us there, and then they give us a choice to stay there like 2 weeks or 3 months. After, you have to choose at first, because at the end of your stay they're gonna give you like 50 euro. If you choose 3 months, make sure you're gonna stay 3 months, because if you leave before 3 months, they won't give you that 50 euro. You know, and that 50 euro is very, very, very important to us. But Germany was free access, and I'm like, I'm going there, you know, because it was all about boxing. Let's see Paris before move, so at least I will see the trending Paris, Tower Eiffel, and all those stuff. It was pretty easy because French speak French, and I was a French speaker, so asked all day long. Then at some by 4 I get to this gym named Kajin. That's where the first boxing gym that I went to, and I was straight up with them, like, I have no money, I have nothing, but I want to be a world champion, you know. So after the class, I went there and see DJ Kama, and he was very receptive and compassionate about my situation. We just met somebody that didn't know us, we didn't know him, and we didn't ask for money, and he just gave us money.